Hello, it's Sarah from My Indie Life blog here. Welcome to the podcast. Today I'm going to do another walkthrough for you. Last time we looked at the free plan on Asana and dealt with some productivity. And today we're going to be looking at working with Buffer at buffer.com with their free plan to schedule some of our social media so that we don't have to be working on social media content every single day of the week. We're going to be actually pre-scheduling some of our content coming up. Okay, so once you've signed up for your free account with Buffer, you are taken to a page here on Buffer where you are able to connect to up to 3 of your social media accounts for free. So if we have a look at Facebook, for instance, you've got 3 options here. You can either connect to a profile, to a page, or to a group. It's really important to say that every single connection you make here is classed as one of your social media network connections. So my advice is to split things up a little bit. Maybe pick a Facebook page, maybe pick a Twitter account, and then maybe pick something like your Instagram account. Mix it up a bit, because the thing is, if you're just concentrating just on Facebook, it means that you're not trying to increase engagement elsewhere. And what we're doing here by using a system like Buffer is we are trying to help automate some of our social media content. So whilst we're working on our craft businesses, we can actually have time to make the all-important stuff that we need to sell. So I'm going to use a personal hobby account of mine, which is a little website I run. Well, it's a little YouTube site actually called Green Fingered Vegan, and it's a blog. And I have a Facebook page and an Instagram account. So I'm just going to set up this free Buffer plan just to show you what it might look like if I wanted to pre-schedule some content for that particular account. Okay, so first of all, for me, I'm going to connect to my Facebook page. So literally Buffer will do all of that connections for us. So we just click the buttons and follow everything that Buffer tells us to do on the screen. Buffer's very quick and easy to use, very intuitive. So here I'm going to connect to the page that's relevant for this particular Buffer account, Green Fingered Vegan. And that will do its thing there. And then what I also want to do is connect to my Instagram account. So you will see immediately what's happened over on the left is I have an area here where we can see the accounts that I have linked to so far. So far you can see that I've linked to my Facebook page. I also want to link to my Instagram account. So when I press that, it will take me through to the connect to a social network area again, and I'm going to connect to Instagram. And that's always helpful when that happens, isn't it? Let's try that again. So then once you've typed in the correct details for your account, you'll get a page that looks like this. Press authorize, and Buffer is now connected to your Instagram account. What happens here is that Buffer will ask to connect on your mobile device. Now, this is the really important thing if you want to connect to Instagram, is that you do need a smart device to be able to use Buffer. So at this point, I'll get your smart device out and download the Buffer app, which you'll find in your app directory. This does work on Android or on iOS, so that's Apple stuff. And then you will literally go through the process of connecting your device. The reason why you're having to do that on your mobile device is that Instagram is primarily a mobile app, so there currently isn't a desktop version of Instagram that you can connect with third-party services. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out from here, because I can't show you on the screen exactly how I'm doing that on my phone. But again, just literally follow the links. Once you've opened your app on Buffer, you'll need to sign in with your new Buffer account details and then connect to your Instagram account. What will happen once we go through to the later sections where we're actually scheduling content is that your Buffer mobile app will actually ask you to post from it every time you have a pre-scheduled post to go out. So literally you'll open up the Buffer app and you'll follow everything that's on the screen. It's very straightforward. Don't forget that the text that you have with the picture that you are going to be putting onto Instagram via the Buffer app will be copied onto your clipboard. So once you get into Instagram, the picture will show up, but the text won't be there. Remember, all you need to do is hold your finger down on screen over the text area, and then when the copy, cut and paste section opens up, press paste, and that copied over text will magically appear for you in the text section. So it's not there, there's not a problem with Buffer, it just is a slightly more complicated step. Okay, so we're going to back out from there a bit. And go back to Buffer here. So what would happen in an ideal world once I've connected my Instagram account is that will also show up on the blue left-hand sidebar. So I will have a picture right where my Instagram little image is, and that will show me that both areas are connected nicely. So let's just continue and pretend that that's actually happened. What we've got now is a few different options. So I'm going to take you through how to set up your content schedules, and then we will actually schedule one piece of content just to show you very quickly how the Buffer surface works. Okay, so when you come in to start setting up your scheduling, you need to move away from this page and press the settings button and press posting schedule. You'll find that what Buffer usually does is it usually gives you at least a couple of options of where it recommends, depending on your location, the best times of day to post are. So you can either keep those as is, or you can add an extra posting time. So you can select whether you want that extra posting time to be weekends or just weekdays. Let's select weekdays, for example, and then you can choose the time. So let's say I want it to go out at 11:15 a.m. You add your posting time and you'll see what's happened is that on the weekends it shows up as an extra posting time. If for any reason you don't want any one of these times to show up, so say for example on Sundays you only really want to post once a day, then we're going to just deselect by pressing the cross button and delete the ones that we don't want. So we can manipulate how many times we decide to post to any of our given accounts. So I've done this. This schedule is set up purely for my green fingered Facebook page. If I wanted to change that for, say, a Twitter account or an Instagram account or any of my other connected accounts, what I would do is select those other accounts from the blue left-hand sidebar, and then I would go to settings and we would do exactly the same process. They won't copy and paste because what will happen in most cases is that you might decide to post on some forums more than you do others. Is there a right time? Is there a wrong time to post? I would say trial and error is your key. How many times to post? Again, trial and error is your key. Generally, personally, I post no more than once a day on Facebook, and I want to try and share and engage with people on that piece of content so that it's seen and consumed by my followers. If I was on Twitter, I would obviously choose to schedule much more regularly, so maybe 5-6 times a day at the most. And the reason why we're doing that is because Twitter is a much more fast-paced social network, and so the more regularly I'm submitting content, the more chances I have to be seen. If I'm posting to Instagram, I may choose to do once a day or once every other day, something like that, and then using my mobile app, add in other stuff that's much more current. Okay, so now that I've set up my schedule, let's have a look at our queue. This is where we are going to actually add our first piece of content. So press Q, and you'll see what comes up here is a box where we are going to enter not only our text, but we're going to add a photo or a video. So I'm going to select a photo really quick. And as I say, this is my personal account, so it has nothing to do with crafts. It's purely me in my garden. So let's say I'm going to pick that one. What you'll see is it uploads here. Then I'm going to add my text here, so I could say something like so I've got whatever my text is. I just wait for the photo to upload. It does take a while sometimes, depending on how big your image files are. And as you see here, you can share up to 4 images per post. So for example, if I was doing say in my craft business, I had a new product with several different color options, then I might choose to include some of those color options within this post. So once I've done that, I can either press add to queue, and that will just save itself to the next available slot. So you won't see it straight away. If you click off to the right, you'll see that this is what's going to go out today, and it's chosen the time based on what my schedule is. If I wanted to add another photo, so let's say take a picture of some blackberries I picked. Does allow you to correct your poor spelling if you're like me. So what I can do with my second piece of content, I can either add to queue, and this will automatically select the next available slot, or I can press the little down arrow to the right of that button. So I can either share it now, which means it will automatically go and post right this second, or I can schedule it for a different day and a different time that is somewhere outside of the realm of my usual schedule. So I could pick, say, I don't know, let's say the 29th here, and I'm going to leave that time as is, but you could certainly, you could change it if you wanted to, and then you could press schedule. Once it's saved, again, what will happen is this box will go clear, but you'll see when you click off to the right hand side of it that you'll see the first piece of content and the second piece of content that you scheduled. The difference here is that there is no blue highlight to this time, and there is a blue highlight this time. What this means here, and if you press it, you'll see that you can change the time or switch to buffer schedule, is this blue arrow here just highlights the fact that this particular piece of content that you've scheduled isn't actually part of your standard schedule that you've set up earlier. So this is something you selected to go out on a day and a time that was different to your setup pre-schedule. That's absolutely okay. you can do that. You can do that as many times as you like. You don't have to stick to the schedule if you have something that's really important. So say, for example, I was just about to do a shop update for my Etsy shop. I could literally come on and schedule that content with Buffer. What you'll do is up here, when you are adding your new content, is you can select the social networks that you want this one piece of content to go out to. So far we've just scheduled everything to the Facebook page, but if I was connected to my Instagram page, that would show up here, so I would select that as well if I wanted it to go out to the same place. And again, for all of your other social networks, they would show up along there. You just literally select which pieces of content you want to go out where. But what you can also do is you can go to this blue arrow and you can switch those pieces of content back to your original schedule. So say, for example, you did this by accident and you actually want it to go to your next available slot, you can switch to Buffer slot, and that will change the timing for you automatically and send it to the right place in your queue. Now, going back to the moments when you have those shop updates coming up, what's quite nice about having a system like this means that when you are leading up to those all important days, obviously you're really busy with production and so on. What can happen is that you run out of time, so you don't have the time to spend as much time on social media telling people about your upcoming shop update. Systems like this, like Buffer, allow you to pre-schedule content. So if you think enough in advance, you can get photos of those new products as they're coming through and literally drip feed the content through on the days before that shop update, so that people are aware that something's coming, so that they can be excited with you, and so that they can also join in on buying those products. So I could have a new piece of content here where I literally link to a blog post. So let me do that. Let's go to my blog. Now, say I wanted to tell everyone about my latest blog. So I'm literally, I've pressed on the blog post, so I've got that open. Again, this could be an Etsy shop item that you have as well. I'm going to select the URL up at the top. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to switch back to Buffer. I'm going to write my text. I'm going to add my link, and what you'll see is that what Buffer has done is it's shortened the link for you. What that means is, it means if you're going to not only put this out on Facebook but put it on something like Twitter, it cuts down the character length of that URL so that you've got plenty of room to write the text you need to go along with it. What's also great about this is when you start to link to pages where Buffer can suck those all-important images from the page, it means that you have some content without having to worry about stuff and find stuff. So you can, if you've got more than one image for that Etsy listing or for your blog post, you can scroll through using these buttons here, and it will allow you the choice of what you have available to add to this piece of content that you're about to upload, or you can replace the link with a photo of your own choice. So exactly in the same way that we've done earlier, I could press that and I could link to, I don't know, a relevant image for that and wait for it to upload. So as I'm waiting for it to upload, what else can I tell you? You'll see, yeah, there are a number of options there for me to select any of the other type of images that I want. So if there is something on that URL that I think is the best option, I can select it right there. It will show up here, so I can just press add to queue or schedule it at a time that I want it to go out. So again, going back to those all important shop updates that you will do from occasion, I can set these up ahead of time. So if I want to announce my shop update on a Thursday, but I've actually got those listings active a little bit earlier, then I can come into Buffer and create the content and link to that shop update ahead of time, which just makes it really nice, so that when people are starting to come back to your Facebook page because they want to see what your latest shop update is, they have the information, will be there at the specific time when you said your shop update is going to be live, and that will give them the link as well, so they can just link through, click through, come straight to your Etsy shop and make their purchases. The other thing you can do with your content is, once you've got a few pieces up on your schedule, you can actually start to move things around. So if something comes up and your schedule needs changing because you need to add something else in, or it doesn't make sense, it doesn't flow right, then what you can do is you can move stuff around. So if you come over to the right hand side, you'll see that if I'm literally not selecting anything at this moment in time, it will show you that currently most of my content is image content. It will replace that landscape image with a video so that you can see the different types of content you have going out in your feed. But as I get closer, what I can also do is select and drag one piece of content, holding the mouse button down to where I want it in the schedule, which makes life really nice and easy if you do want to move things around. The other thing that you can do with these content is hovering anywhere on the piece of content that you want to make a change on. You can see you have some selections, so you can either move it up or you can edit it. It will allow you to add more pictures or change the picture or change what it is that you're going to say. You can also share it now. If you want it to go out at the moment, you press this rather than a pre-scheduled time in the future, or you can delete it as well. Okay, so there are a number of things that you can do to shuffle the way that your schedule looks. So if you suddenly remember something halfway through scheduling all of your content, you can add in something new and just offer it to the right place. On the free account, you will notice that there are a few restrictions. So first of all, I talked about the restrictions in the amount of social media networks you can connect to. So you're only allowed to connect to 3 profiles at once. The other thing is that you are only able to pre-schedule 10 pieces of content per social network. So if I selected this, for example, to go out not only on my Facebook page, but also onto my Instagram account as well, then it would count as 1 piece of content per social network, okay? Now that's really the very basics of Buffer, and I think that's more than enough for us to be getting on with. Of course, Buffer is much more detailed than that, and if you have a look behind the scenes, you'll certainly see that Buffer does have a lot more to offer you and your business. But I feel certainly for the basic free plan, what this does is it offers us an opportunity to free up some of our time so that we can get on with other parts of our business. So it means that maybe just 1 day a week we're concentrating on create social media content to go out for us once a day over the week, and then we won't have to worry about it until that same day the next week, which allows us the rest of the week just to answer any social media queries and work on that engagement, and then also to concentrate on our sales and our products and building up our customer relationships. Okay, so I hope that's been really helpful. My name is Sarah. You can find me over at myindielifeblog.net, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel where you will find lots more videos like this coming up shortly.